Well, good evening, everyone. We are going to be getting started in just a moment, and I'm going to ask that you take a few minutes just to go ahead and like and share. We're going to be getting started momentarily. But while you wait, I want you to, if you're out there, let me know you're there. Type in your comments. Let me know where you're joining from. Tonight, I'm expecting to have a pretty good time. Just giving some folks some time to join in. Take a moment and share this with a family, friend, loved one, someone that's looking to continue the journey as we move from January to February to get started. I'm just going to give a few minutes to allow everyone to, if you're joining us, wherever you're joining from, in the comments, type, let me know where you're joining from. And if you can, go ahead and share. Good evening. Aberdeen, Maryland. All right. Again, I know it takes a little bit of time for a few people to join in with us, so gonna give some moments to join in with us tonight. Share, like, subscribe. And if you're joining on Facebook or on YouTube, go ahead and let me know where you're joining from. What city and what state are you from? We're going to give it another 30 seconds and we are going. All right, Aberdeen is in the house. Aberdeen is in the house. All right. Well, good evening, everyone. It's me, Frederick Williams, here tonight. What a phenomenal year this has started off to be. And I wanted to take the time to kick off the month of February with going live and just celebrating. And I'm glad that you've decided to join me tonight and celebrate too. So as you're coming on tonight, please take a moment in the comments. Let me know where you're joining from. If you have any technical difficulties or we face any challenges on your end, please let me know. Please let me know that you can hear me or you can't hear me. I want to make sure that we are heard and that your comments, if you are joining on Facebook or YouTube, I'm asking that you go ahead and use the comments section and chime in wherever you can or whenever you see fit. So I'm just going to give another minute. Look, y'all, I'm looking forward to having a pretty good discussion tonight. As you know, I invited you here tonight. Thank you for letting me know that I can be heard, and it is my honor to go live tonight. So tonight, what's tonight about? Tonight is about me helping, sharing, and hopefully helping someone maintain their goals on tonight. Thank you. I'm glad I can be heard. In times like this, to be heard is certainly an honorable thing to be able to do. Well, you know what? Without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and get started. And those that will join in tonight, they're going to do that. And it's possible that those that didn't join in, maybe you're not watching this live at the time that you're seeing it. You're actually seeing a replay or watching this after the live has occurred. So regardless if you're joining live or if you're watching this after the fact, jot your comments in. If you have questions after or while viewing the video, we're going to go back and we're going to look at those comments, and I am going to do my level best to answer those questions. But before we get started tonight, I've got some help. But before we get the help tonight, I want to just give you a brief. We're going to play this video, and immediately following the video, we're going to come back and we're going to get started with the conversation. If you're ready for the conversation tonight, I want you to hashtag health and wellness for me. That's health and wellness for me. Put that in the comments tonight, all right? Nope. Erase. Well, good evening, everybody. Health and wellness is for me. Is it for you? If health and wellness is for you, again, hashtag that in the comment. Hashtag all one word, health and wellness for me. See, we may have some new folks that's hashtagging, but tonight I literally want you to join all those words in hashtag health and wellness for me. Certainly health and wellness. I didn't know where my story was going to get started about 12 years ago. But you know what? I made a decision and I made some life changes and some choices that would change my life forever. And because it's changed my life, many people or many of you have heard my story, or maybe not heard it, but seen my story through the physical changes and some of my posts. And if you're following, however you've come in contact with me, I want to encourage you tonight to let you know that you can achieve. You just got to believe. And it takes one step forward, then another step, and then another step, and another step. Before we get started, I just want to remind everyone that, look, I am sharing my journey, things and information that I share on here tonight. I am not a medical profession. These are things that have worked for me, things that I've studied or I've learned along the way. So if you are looking to do anything that I may share tonight or listen further and take action, I would encourage you that if you need to see your medical physician or get a check with your doctor, that you do that before you start any physical activities or major changes to your diet. I remind you and repeat that I am not a medical physician. I am simply a coach for fitness and wellness. And you should check with your doctor before you change medicine or do anything extremely physical. All right. Again, you can ask questions in the comment section. We're going to try to keep up with those tonight. But I want to move forward because, again, the reason why this conversation got sparked is because I celebrated 12 years of better life, better health, better wellness, starting 12 years ago. This journey started 12 years ago on January the 30th. For those that's in the Northeast, or if you watch the weather over the last couple of days, we had a heavy storm come through. I'm literally in the house right now and has not ventured out because of the snow out there. Well, ironically enough, I didn't know it was going to snow, but I know it was the snow that changed my life forever. 12 years ago, it was 12 years ago on a December 30th day that it was post a winter storm that I was in my work van and people needed cable fixed. Who wants to be in the house and you can't watch TV? Who wants to be in the house, you can't use the internet? Well, there was somebody out there, and I'm thankful for them. Wasn't so thankful at the time. I was quite upset, to be honest with you. But 12 years later, I'm so thankful that I had to journey out in the snow to take and fix someone's cable. And while out there, I had this 80-pound ladder. Yeah, 80 pounds on top of nearly 300 pounds of my own weight that I had to carry up a hill. Thought I had finished the job, packed up everything, put it on a truck. Customer calls and says, oh, we're still having some issues. Something's not quite right. Had to take the 80-pound ladder off the truck, get it back on my shoulder, truck it up. My several hundred pounds of body weight. And then I had to take the 80-pound ladder along with other tools and things like that to actually lug up a hill to try to fix someone's cable. So that's where it all started on a winter day. Just a few days after a major snowstorm, and I got back in my truck and I was huffing and I was puffing, and I didn't blow anybody's house down. Didn't have the strength to do that, but I was tired. I was tired. So look, I'm not here by myself tonight. Part of the reason why I got started with this one tonight is because of my son, Freddie. He did a school project this year, and he decided to take a journey down the road with me. But before I bring him on, I want to show you this life that I'm talking about, because to see me now does no justice to know what I look like back then. So for those that have never seen the former me, well, here he is in living color. That's me, y'all. The picture on the left is me when I was in my early 20s, and I was weighing 300 and some odd pounds. And I'm telling you, I was heavy, but I was still enjoying life. The picture on the right is of me in 2015. But I didn't take, again, it didn't take me that long to lose the weight. And you're going to find out how long it took for me to get the weight off from the guy on the left to nearly the guy that's on the right. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on one of my co-hosts for tonight, and that is none other than my son, Freddie. How you doing tonight, Freddie?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys?
Oh, Freddie, I'm doing fine. How are you guys doing out there? Freddie wants to know, how are you doing? Can you type that in a comment and let Freddie know how you're doing tonight? Freddie, it'll take him a couple of minutes to catch up. Why don't you go ahead and, all right, one person as well. We're going to go ahead and kick it off. Thank you, certainly, Freddie. If you want to kick off and have anything to say as to how we got here, like I said, it was a Clash project that you sparked the conversation with me, and we walked down this journey, and we're going to go through a little bit of that tonight with your help. All right. Comments says, always great when you're around Freddie.
Thank you.
All right. I agree. It's always great when I'm around Freddie. All right. So, Freddie, do you want to get started, or should we bring on our other co-host first?
I just wanted to say that I did this project because what my dad did was very, very good, and it was a great decision for him to do. That's all I wanted to say, but it was very nice of him to make these decisions. But we'll get into that till later.
All right. And before we introduce the next person that's going to support us tonight, I want to show you what Freddie used to look like. All right. Take a look at this picture. Freddie's the little guy in the red shirt. I can't imagine who the gentleman is standing above his shoulders, but I was living in a big world, and Freddie was rather small. You know, he looks like an ant standing next to a tree. But I'm sure this is one of the pictures that sparked Freddie to um, really be able to look back and say, wow, that's really what my dad looked like. What do you think about that, Freddie?
It's crazy.
You didn't realize I looked that big. I was living large, wasn't I, Freddie?
You're huge.
I agree with you, Freddie. I really do agree. I thank you for your honesty too. All right, so there you have it. Freddie and I are there, and like I said, we're going to walk down a journey. Actually, I'm going to let you go ahead and ask me question number one, and then we'll do the next step. All right.
Okay. So I have a couple questions here, but why did you decide to lose weight?
Well, you already knew I was tired. I was huffing and puffing. It was some long days. And as you all just saw in the picture, wife and I had 3 beautiful children at the time. And though I had the strength and the ability to carry them, it wasn't easy. So I really made the decision because I had a family and I wanted to be there for this wonderful family that God had blessed me with. And I wanted to be there for you, Freddie, and I wanted to be there for your sister and your brother, as well as your mom. And we're no mistake, we're still married and together. We wanted to be able to live life. And I didn't know what kind of physical activities you guys wanted to be involved in. So if I had to be the football dad, I wanted to be there. To be the basketball dad, I wanted to be there for you guys. And I wanted to live life like I've always done, pretty happy. But I wanted to make sure that I lived it a lot better and been a healthier example for you guys. So I know there's more. And as Freddie said, there's more questions. Freddie, do you have any feedback on that one?
No, not really, but I'm just amazed.
Okay. He's amazed. Question for the group. If someone's asking, what's your why? Freddie asked me, why did I do it? Maybe you should take a moment and consider what's your why. You know, for those of you that's watching, what's your why? What made you tune in tonight and want to, you know, hear something about better life and wellness and maintaining health after me, you know, losing 135 pounds 12 years ago? So to help us further the dialogue and conversation tonight, I'm going to bring on another person, which is my sister, along with the rest of my family, have been proud supporters in my whole journey to losing weight. So without further ado, let us welcome my sister Kendra tonight. Hey, Kendra.
Hello. Hey, everyone.
Thank you for taking time out of your schedule tonight to pair up with Freddie and I to have this dialogue and walk me through my journey of losing weight and maintaining health over the last 12 years. So I know you had a couple of questions for me as well.
Absolutely. So let's start with what did you do actually to lose weight?
Well, I've done a lot of things, but the initial factor of losing the weight, it was, I thought about it, I guessed about it, and then after just getting tired, I just made a decision, literally. And that's the question, right? Is what did I do to lose weight? Is first and foremost, I made a decision that I didn't want to live the life that I was living anymore. I didn't want to have those physical challenges anymore. So I had to make a decision was the first thing that I had to do. And off that decision, my second thing is that based on that, I committed myself to that decision for better health and better wellness. That led me to changing eating habits, the type of foods that I ate initially, first off, and then down the road, I started incorporating some physical activity. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely. It's always hard, you know, getting started, but the mindset is definitely key.
Yeah, but I think that's one of the things that keep me going every single day. And for those that are out there, feel free to ask your questions in the chat or give a comment or something. If you have anything, we'll try to entertain those before the end of this broadcast. So definitely mindset is one of the biggest things. And I'll be honest with you, Kendra, Freddie, and the viewers out there, is for me, it was really the fact that this continues. Like, it wasn't just an initial thing for me. The mindset is an ongoing thing. Like, I'll go to bed tonight and I'll wake up tomorrow and I have to stick with the decision. I either get to make the choice to stick with what I decided or go against it. To be for my commitment or against my commitment. And as you've seen it, I've got good days and I've got bad days, but really my mindset is what keeps me going, because my why, just like you asked in the comments some time ago, is what are our whys, and our whys will give us a drive, hopefully, to keep us going. So my why was my family and to be here long term. And that was over 12 years ago, not knowing what would come up. So, it's the mindset for me.
Thank you.
Yeah. So checking the chats to see if anybody's, out there have any questions. Feel free to put something in the comments section. We'll try to answer those for you. But it was definitely the why, the mindset for me. It's a continuous thing. Freddie, I think you had another question as well.
Yeah. Also, what was there any challenges during your journey of losing weight?
Many obstacles. My biggest battle and challenge, again, you guys will often hear me go back to mindset, because that's the one thing. It's our mind that's warring against us in many things, and it takes the mind to align. You're right. You just type exactly what I'm thinking. You have to align the mind, the body, and the soul. Mind, body, spirit. Like, you have to. It takes one to lead to the next things. And ask your question for me one more time, Freddie, just to make sure the viewers got it and I answer it correctly.
Was there any challenges during your journey of losing the weight?
First challenge was getting up and only eating that small plate of food. When I say a small plate of food, y'all, look, I came home and told my wife, I said, listen, honey, I said, actually, I think the exact words was, hey, babe, you got to start fixing my food on the saucer. And nothing can be touching it, nothing more than an inch. And you can only imagine what her face probably looked like when I said that. You're talking about a guy who could eat 2 plates of food, pretty healthy. Smorgasbord was a better restaurant than going somewhere where you had to pay per plate. I was enjoying the fact you pay once, you get as many plates as you want. So to go from as many as I wanted to reduce that down to just a plate or a saucer, it was quite the difference for me. So that was one challenge, and being able to battle through the difficulties of facing being hungry very early on. And I'll push along. I'll push along here in a moment to give you a little closer to where I'm at, currently in regards to what I'm doing now, what challenges I face, because the challenges I face today are a little bit different than the challenges I faced before. So you're talking about initial challenges, Freddie?
Yes.
Okay, so initial challenges really diet, discipline, grocery store list had to change. Wife decided, her and I were making decisions to change our eating habits and things like that. And I see the questions are coming in, so I'll make sure that we answer those questions. A question came up by Anthony: is what challenges do you face at the beginning? Did you face at the beginning of your weight loss journey that are different compared to your challenges now? And the difference is, thank you, Anthony, for the question. The challenges that are different now than they were before is I'm committed now. Like, I've given up different things. Like, I don't eat meat. I'm a pescatarian. I only eat seafood. And you can put a plate of food in front of me with meat or things that I've decided not to eat, and I will be fine. So that mental part is definitely something I've overcome. Physically, for those who follow me on Facebook, I've got different challenges now because I continue to challenge myself a little bit differently. So food, sometimes one of my weaknesses is sweets. with having a heavy desire for sweets. My wife can tell you immediately after I eat something, I want something sweet. Like, Freddie, am I right? Like, I can finish eating a meal and instantly I have this desire to have some type of sweet sugar. To some, they'll be like, well, isn't that contradictory to what you're doing? It could be if I let it get out of control. The other challenges I face is really divorcing the bed in the morning. Anybody got an issue like that? Hashtag the bed. I have issues some mornings divorcing the bed because I've been doing it so long. It's like, okay, do you want to do that? And there's weeks that I've gone, I was like, I don't got to work out every day no more. I'm going to see what my body does. And listen, you do that too long, you reap the benefits of that. So, Anthony, I'm not sure if that answered your question totally. I hope it did. That those are different journeys that I face now. Is some of the physical barriers that I had before or mental challenges are different now. Even when it came, once I started doing the physical aspect of getting involved, going to the gym, one of the challenges that I faced back then was endurance and being able to be on the treadmill for a full 30 minutes. And I couldn't even do 3.5 miles an hour for 30 minutes when I first got started. If you look at my post from this past weekend, I ran 16.21 miles at a little under 9 minutes per mile long distance. And that was in 19-degree weather. I would have never, ever done that when I first got started. I was afraid. But I'm going to save that topic to another day when I come back and we just talk about some of the battling and facing the fears. I believe Kendra asked me a question. She said, can I explain to those who think they are hungry, but actually they are thirsty? That is a good question. As a matter of fact, because you said so, I'm a sip on that. Go ahead. If you're watching this video tonight, take a sip. If you didn't get your water, move on to the kitchen, get a sip. I'm okay with tap water or bottled water, whatever your choice. There you go, Kendra. Take a sip. This question just makes me thirsty. Take a sip. Hey, yo, I love having fun. That's a part of my life. So yes, majority of the time, it has been proven, and you can look this up, that majority of the time when we feel like the average person says that they feel like they're hungry, you're not really hungry. You're 9 times out of 10, you're thirsty, and your body is possibly dehydrated. But if you've been taught and groomed and grown into that you should eat 3 meals a day, eat till you're full, or this is your coping mechanism of eating, then 9 times out of 10, before you drink, you eat. When you should drink before you eat. And I won't go into a spiritual realm, but that's that discerning thing, is knowing what it is and what is not. And it is not that you're always hungry. It could be that you're thirsty. So, you really want to pay attention to that. And then when for those that are watching or will be watching, I challenge you. One thing I challenge you to is when you feel like you think you're hungry, take and grab some water and drink about 8 to 12 ounces of water and try that and see if that helps, and then go that route. So that was, that's one of the things. Even in the middle of the night when you get those cravings, set your timer. You've decided you want to finish eating. I did that some time ago. One of the things that I did to change my diet was actually stopped eating at a certain point in the night. I gave up eating after like 7 o'clock at night. And once I had that mentally, again, it goes back to the mindset. Mentally, in my head, it was like, okay, 7 o'clock is the cutoff. 7 o'clock is the cutoff. So you got to do those things too, setting deadlines for yourself. Freddie or Kendra, did you have something else?
Sure, I do. I know a lot of times as being a female, we can get a little discouraged with the weight loss journey. We can put on the weight fast, but the weight comes off slow. How long did it take you to lose your weight?
So yeah, losing the weight for me, it was about a total of 14 months um, with from start to finish, and I had no timeline or any ambitions or hope of how much I would lose. I really wanted to get started with just doing better by myself and preparing to live a little bit longer and a lot healthier than what I did. And before I knew it, I was shedding pounds, changing belt loops, changing clothes. In fact, look, I want to show you something before I go to the next question of when I talk about from where I was to where I became. Take a look at this picture is of me after losing the weight, and you'll see that I look quite like the young fella there in this photo. So that's one picture of when that's a front view, and those pants were size 52 inch waist pants for men, and I got all the way down to a size 32. Here's another photo. And that was just 14 months after losing the initial start of my journey. That was 14 months afterwards. So we have another question, guys. Question comes in. So in the beginning, this is from, looks like my mom. So in the beginning, did you start with decreasing your food portion, or did you start by changing your food selection? Example, did you stop all meat, starches, and desserts? So to answer the question that's on the screen there is I actually just started with portions. I really started with portions, and I started with the portions by literally doing what I said, doing the saucer size foods. For those of you that love fast food, you can still do this and eat fast food. You just got to choose the right fast food to eat. I was still going to McDonald's. I was still going to Burger King. I was going to other places because mentally I really wasn't ready to let go of it. Although I've never been a big fast food fan outside of Burger King because I worked there so long. But I decreased food portions and then just started making healthier choices after that. And then as I journeyed through the last 12 years, I began making other changes. Initially I gave up when I did reduce my meals sizes and portions. I did make this change, which was give up all drinks that has high sugar content at that time, and that was not a part of one of my three major meals. So for example, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I had to I made myself only drink either juice, 8 ounces of a non-water liquid or beverage. And then I also split my meals that I was eating at the time into 6 smaller meals until I was mature enough to actually switch out the secondary meals to become a healthier choice. So hopefully that answered the question. As far as desserts, I really didn't eat a whole lot of desserts at that time that I can recall, but I didn't really give them up either. I don't recall really giving them up. It was just more conscious of it. Even to this day, I'm conscious, even though I said I eat candy. My weekend snack, and we can have a snack night another day, is my favorite is peanut butter with ice cream on Friday and Saturdays. So the question comes in is portion control helps your intake and vision. When your palate is smaller yet full, your mind is tricked. You are still able to enjoy your food while taking in less. Actually, that's a comment. So thank you for that comment. All right. Okay. So was there something else we had on here to discuss, guys?
For the most part, I think we've covered it all. We do know that it's taking you about 12 or so years. Won't you elaborate on that for us a little bit?
About the 14 years?
Yes, I'm sorry, 14 years.
The 14 months, the 12 years of 14 months. Sorry, I done confused myself. But you want me to elaborate on just the 12-year journey versus the 14 months?
Yeah, elaborate with us a little bit because I know to some people that may seem like such a long time, but yet for many, many years, we put things into our bodies for years and years, and we don't realize how long that is. But now that you've been able to accomplish keeping your weight off for the 12 years, just elaborate or give us a couple tips that will keep us encouraged throughout our journey.
Okay. Couple things. Again, my three big things is really every day is you got to make the same. You got to do the same thing every day until, and that's that decision, that mindset, that commitment, starting small. Don't try to go big just because I tell you 12 years later I can run 16 miles because I've got the stamina and the willingness of heart to just go after it. I'm not that guy that can go out that has reached the pinnacle where I can go and bench press 350 pounds. And it all depends on what your goals are. So my goal, I've done weightlifting and things like that, and it all requires the same thing. Dedication, commitment, consistency. Dedication, commitment, consistency. You've got to be committed and stay consistent. And it is not going to remain the same thing always. It's going to change. It's going to vary. Today, you may wake up and your goal is to lose 10 pounds. And you'll figure out a way to do that. Many ways, and some of the things that I'll come back and we'll talk about later is some of it's giving up the food. This is the first thing I would tell you, and I'm going to give you three different perspectives, okay? If you're the beginner, what I would consider the beginner, and you're just now getting started, you don't know where to start, and you need a place to start, is get disciplined, right? Make the decision. If you've already made the decision, I really, really want to lose weight in 2021, or not that you need to lose weight, or I really want to live a healthier lifestyle, you've got to start seeking out the things that work for you. Again, like I said at the beginning of this, is seek your medical doctor, find out what's going on in your body, know you so you know what to do. I knew that I had medical challenges. I knew that I had my medical challenges very borderline high blood pressure and obesity. Right. I don't know if I was considered morbid obese, but I was obese. So I knew those things, and I didn't have heart issues or anything of that nature. So I was a pretty healthy big guy, but I had to do that. And once I made the commitment, I just stuck to it. It's every 30 days to 45 days, I reviewed what I was doing, saw if it was working or not, the things that weren't working anymore or had become stagnant. I changed those. Does that help answer?
Yeah.
I hope this gives you, something that you're looking for. I see you wrote it there. Dedication, commitment, consistency. Dedicated, commitment, consistency. Even if it's getting up, maybe you don't need to change your meal plan. Maybe you're like, I'm eating all the right things, but I just can't lose the weight. Get active. Several tips that I had noted here, and we're going to wrap up in a few minutes for tonight. A couple of things that I wrote down, Kendra, is that it's important that a person just gets active. I've talked about the snow outside, and during COVID, a lot of people faced challenges. I had people reaching out and said, okay, well, what do you do in COVID? What are you doing? What are you doing differently? I have not been back to the gym since, I believe, March of last year. So I quickly had to figure out, and again, this will be another night that I'll go in depth. So I had to figure out alternatives. But at minimum, it's 30 minutes of elevated heart rates is going to do you some good. Okay. So elevated heart rate, reducing that sugar intake. If you can, some people say you can eat 6 small meals a day. Does it? Other people say, no, it doesn't work. There's many things that will work. It depends on the individuals. Kendra, you said one thing there is women versus men. And I know that you and I, along with a couple of other individuals, as we continue to host these conversations, we'll come back and talk through some of those challenges and the differences between a woman's body versus a man's body. And for, it really, there's a lot that we can say. Age is a factor, health is a factor, sickness is a factor. So those are things. And I don't want to, ramble on, but I think it's important that those that are listening really understand that perspective of that. A nugget for someone else. If you're that midnight snacker, I need you to put that food down. I'm going to need you to stay out the kitchen. Put your own alarm on yourself and stay out of the kitchen. All right? And just be honest with yourself. If you really don't need it, you probably simply just want it. And I've got 2 more nuggets. I'm going to ask a question here. So in the future, what in addition will you be expanding or adding to your vision to help others? Will there be sharing meal plans and exercises for seniors? Oh, I would love to help in any kind of way that I can. Meal plans, yes. We've got some good things starting off. This is like a kickoff to some future things coming. So that I can't do. Knowing that I'm not the expert in everything, I am going to get a couple of guests and bring in some folks that may be able to help me help you in that facet, even with me sharing some of the things that I've done. Meal planning is a big deal, and it should be a big deal. And I'm glad you asked about meal planning, because that's something that I did. Again, a lot of topics, just not enough time to go through them all. So in the upcoming weeks, the plan is every other week, possibly do this and have conversations that's meaningful to each one of you as the viewers, to make sure that we're helping you along your journey. So meal plans and exercises for seniors. I've got some big things in mind. If you got 2 milk jugs or a milk jug and a water jug, you got weights in your house. Okay. If you've got steps and you can carry those things, you've got weights in your house. You've got some of the equipment that you already need. In fact, if you can literally do things like this several times, get going, roll your arms, small things. It's not big things, it's the small things with building up yourself to get you where you need to be. So start small. The word says, despise not small beginnings. We've got to start somewhere. And for others, and I'm sure those that will watch later on, stretching is something that we don't often do, or it's not high. It's not promoted as much as weightlifting or physical activity. But if you start off stretching and doing things to help get your body more limber, you'll be able to do some of the exercises and physical things that you didn't believe you can do. You don't know the strength of the rubber band until you stretch it. So you got to stretch your muscles in order for them to do what you need them to do. And then lastly, hydrate. So Freddie or Kendra or the viewers, did you guys have any more questions or thoughts for me tonight?
I see that some people are asking about meal planning. I would ask that if you are interested in meal planning and you have a specific diet, type that there so that we can reach out and he can get the resources that is needed for that particular diet. So if you're keto, if you're vegan, vegetarian, if you're plant-based, if you are trying to do low carb, type it in so that we can make sure we reach out and bring you what you're looking for. We're here to help you all and encourage you all through this journey.
All right. Like I said at the beginning, health and wellness for me. Health and wellness should be for you. Health and wellness should be for all of us in order to live healthy and to be better for ourselves and be better for our loved ones. That is my why. When you think about it, why do you want a better life? Why are you tuning in to listen to what I had to share of how to do this? You know, it's your why that matters. Your why has to matter, and it has to be more to you than anything. So again, I want to say thank you all for stopping by, taking the time of your schedule tonight just to hear me. And we will be back live very soon. Again, if you have any comments or suggestions of topics, please email me. It's freddwilliamsi@gmail.com, or drop a comment inside of the comment section. And lastly, you can inbox me if you're viewing this on Facebook and or YouTube. So please send that over, and we will begin working on some of those things to help you. All right. Again, it has been my pleasure to be your host along with my co-host tonight, Freddie and Kendra. Thank you all so much tonight for joining me. Until next time, may you guys be blessed and have a wonderful evening.